Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome to Glitched Out, your weekly podcast by fans for fans of everything gaming related. This is the show where we run through some news, interpret it for you, but we're not Colin and Greg live. Joining me this week, once again...
Or are we?
It is Israel Pacheco.
Yeah. I always need some sort of better intro. I say that every week that I needs to come up with something more exciting. Let's just get pumped up before this. Listen to like Ultimate Warrior music.
Then you wouldn't just make sense anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense at all.
You'll be fueling up the rocket.
Go again.
Oh man. Well, we've got one hell of a show this week. I say that every week, but yeah, we do. We've got, of course, the games of August. We have 5 really cool news stories. Our topic of the week is quite interesting. It's related to another news story we didn't cover last week or this week, but we'll mention it anyway.
Brother.
You probably have no questions. It ain't that news story, that's for sure. We also have no questions and comments, I don't think, unless somebody sends some to us during this recording. And yeah, that's about it. So, let us start this show, as we start every show, with what we've been playing. So, Izzy, since we last chatted last week, what have you been playing?
The first thing here on my list is Wolfenstein: The Old Blood on the PS4. It went on sale this past weekend for the, what's that called? QuakeCon, right?
Yeah.
QuakeCon was happening, so a bunch of places had a bunch of Bethesda games on sale. So I picked this up. I haven't played the New Order yet, but I heard this was a lot shorter than the New Order, so I figured it'd be something I could get through in about a day, and that's what happened. It was only $10. I figured it was the right price for this. This is the standalone downloadable title, which just recently got a physical release. It's a prequel to the New Order, more in the line of the older Wolfenstein games. Mm-hmm. It took me about, I want to say, 5-6 hours to complete. And yeah, it got better as it went along. At first, I wasn't really feeling it, and then towards the end, I started enjoying it more. There was a lot of stealth in this, which really surprised me because I bought it thinking I'm going to get into a first-person shooter, as that's what the Wolfenstein series is known for. But there was a lot of stealth in this game, which kind of threw me off. And then the final boss battle kind of threw me off too, which actually ended up being really easy once you figured out the pattern of the boss and the pattern of the other enemies that spawn during the boss battle. It was really easy once I knew what I was doing. I played through most of the game. I got through to the final boss battle, and I was like, hey, this is pissing me off, so I'll come back to it. Then I came back to it the next day, and I finished it like extremely quickly. So, but I recommend this if you guys are fans of the Wolfenstein series, or you're looking for something shorter to take up your time. It gets a thumbs up from me. Next thing that I've been playing is Journey, which I should say I've been replaying. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to keep it brief because I could talk about this game for all day. It is one of my favorite games of all time, but it's still such a fantastic experience, like from start to finish. And even through this playthrough, I've noticed little details and touches, which I don't want to get into because I'm sure there's still some people who haven't played the game. I don't want to spoil that for them. But fantastic, looks amazing on the PS4, 1080p, 60 frames a second. Such a gorgeous game. Highly recommended. Also, if you had it on PS3, it is free to download on PS4, which is really cool. The next one here on my list is Splatoon, which for some reason I wrote PS4 on the side for the console. Yeah, that's completely wrong.
Foreshadowing, maybe?
Maybe. with how, we'll get to the sales discussion later, but fantastic game, man. I finally went through the single player and finished it up. You could tell this game was was made by Nintendo in terms of the level design. They're really short, but they're so well crafted and well made and so ingenious in their design. Like they use all the different mechanics of the game. And what's kind of disappointing is that a lot of stuff that you see in the single player doesn't transfer over to the multiplayer experience in terms of like the level design. But hopefully they could implement some of that stuff in the sequel. This is definitely within the top 5 games of the year for me, probably within the top 3.
Wow.
It's and for a game that I was heavily criticizing and it just turned me around completely. Highly recommended. The new update's coming out pretty soon, adding a bunch of features, a bunch of maps and stuff. So Nintendo's supporting this really well. The last and final game that I've been playing, and this one, yes, this one's actually on the PS4, is Dying Light. I picked this up, which I've been meaning to for the last couple weeks, especially after Colin Moriarty would not stop talking about this game and saying it's his favorite game of the year so far, and it kind of threw me off guard because it didn't look like a game that would be that high caliber. It looked like a good quality game. It's just I wasn't interested in, especially playing the original Dead Island. That really not clicking with me. But I'm about 45 minutes into it. And I'm actually pretty impressed. I thought the story was going to be kind of throwaway. So far, it isn't. It's actually really interesting, the story in this. And the world looks pretty cool. The zombies look great. I haven't gotten too deep into it. My brother, I think he's played it for like several hours because he's obsessed with zombies. But I got to ask him how far he's into it. But yeah, so far, I'm digging it. Looking forward to playing some more of this game, hopefully wrapping it up within the next few weeks before the next big titles come out.
Cool.
So how about you? What you been playing, man?
Well, I also replayed Journey. How could I not, really?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I played a little bit more of The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Things got a bit more creepy with the next puzzle that I went to. I still haven't solved it yet, but man, the vibe in that game is so freaking intense and good. Other than that, I played a bit more of Tales of Heartsire on the Vita. Got through a little bit more of the story there. Same thing with Uncharted Golden Abyss. I finished up the first chapter finally.
Nice.
So yeah, enjoying that. Can't wait to get back to it. The main thing that I've played, and actually I only played this last night because it just came out Tuesday, and that is the 4th episode of Life is Strange. Life is Strange episode 4, The Dark Room.
Yeah, I've seen you been tweeting a lot about that.
Yeah, the series has been like fantastic. I personally think it has been better than both Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones that Telltale's been doing. These guys are nailing it with their first venture into this style of game because, oh man, episode 4, the choices were intense. Like, the first big choice you have to make in the episode it's gut-wrenching. Like, it is actually gut-wrenchingly hard. I had to pause the game and walk away for a bit because I honestly had no idea what to do. Like, it's a situation I would never want to be in real life, and they nail it onto you right away in this episode. It was insane. And the episode continues, and it gets better and better. The plot, like, advances a lot in this episode. Questions are finally answered, which have been asked since the very first episode. And new twists happen, which is insane. I was almost shaking by the end of the episode because I was that affected. And essentially with this 4th episode, this game now, quite honestly, could be a Game of the Year contender for me because...
Wow.
it got damn good. If they can keep up this momentum for the final episode, yeah, it's easily going to be in my top 5, top 3, if not my Game of the Year this year.
Wow.
Yeah. I really wasn't expecting it to be, but damn.
This is kind of like the dark horse for you of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Because I remember back at the beginning of the year, I wasn't even going to pick it up to begin with. I was like, should I get this? Should I get Grim Fandango? I think I actually spoke with one of the devs on Twitter, replying back and forth with them. But
Oh, really?
yeah, but I ended up going with Life is Strange, and now, not a regret in the world. Pick this game up. It is well worth your time.
Have they been doing better than Telltale in terms of their release schedule? Like, is it at
Yeah.
least every few months, not like just out of nowhere like Telltale does?
They've been pretty much on par every 2 months. There was a little bit more of a wait for episode 4, but yeah, it's been essentially every 2 months. They've been pretty spot on with it.
Okay, that's pretty good then, because I know we've talked about in the past how Telltale handles their release schedule, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of frustrating, but
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Life is Strange, the twist on the gameplay with the whole time travel thing is really cool.
mhm.
So yeah, for $20, I think you can pick up the entire season on PlayStation 4. So do it. Just do it.
I'll probably check this out soon. There's just so much I'm playing right now, and
Mm-hmm.
so much still to come too
Yeah, true enough, true enough. But
within the next few months.
yeah, but do not let this game pass you by before the end of the year. You need to play this game.
Okay, I'll probably pick it up once they wrap and all 5 episodes are out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, just try to avoid spoilers as much as possible.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything thus far from any of the episodes.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for what I've been playing. Witcher has been on the shelf pretty much, but I hope to get back to that soon after work stops being crazy. All right. So, with that, we can move into our next segment, which is our favorite segment to cover every month. Well, when it's not March or November or October. And that is the games of the month. And yes, we are doing the month of August right now. So, I guess I'll run through this and then we can pick apart the ones that really interest us. So, coming out on the 3rd, we have Freedom Planet for the Wii U. Saw a speedrun of that earlier. It was quite awesome. Nom Nom Galaxy for Windows and Mac. On the 4th, we have Etran Odyssey 2 Untold, the Fenrir Knight for the 3DS. We have Gallic Z, the Dimensional for the PlayStation 4. We have Rare Replay for the Xbox One. On the 11th, we have Everybody's Gone to the Rapture for PlayStation 4. Garfield Kart for the 3DS. Goat Simulator for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Paddington Adventures in London for the 3DS. Oh my, 3DS owners, that's a tough choice that day.
Dude, yeah. Hard-hitting titles.
On the 13th, we have Fallout Shelter getting its Android release. Satellite Rain for Windows, Mac, and Linux. On the 18th, we have Armkrog for Windows, Mac, and Linux. I believe that's from the developers of, whatchamacallit, Earthworm Jim, I believe. Could be wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it was their Kickstarter title. Resident Evil Revelations 2 gets its Vita release. Volume comes out for PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, Windows, and Mac. On the 21st, we have Little Battlers Experience Baku Boost for the 3DS. Those titles, they keep rolling out. Risen 3 Titan Lords Enhanced Edition gets its PlayStation 4 debut. No Xbox One. Huh, that's weird. On the 25th, we have Amnesia Memories for the PlayStation Vita. Now you can go nope on the go. Dishonored Definitive Edition comes out for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Gears of War Ultimate Edition comes out on the Xbox One. Madden NFL 16 releases for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 gets its PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita release. Shadowrun Hong Kong comes out for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Until Dawn releases for the PlayStation 4. Then on the 30th, we have Disney Infinity 3.0 coming out for Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, 360, Xbox One, Wii U, iOS, Android. Probably coming out on the PSP as well at some point. Everything under the sun. And under our to be announced section, we have Gauntlet Slayer Edition for the PlayStation 4, Nova 111 for Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Wii U. And I don't have it here on the list, but I think it's rumored that the Talos Principle will be releasing on the PlayStation 4 as well in the month of August at some point. The 25th, I think, is the rumored date. Not sure if it's coming out for other systems as well, but I know PlayStation 4 for sure. So, hot diggity damn, what a month.
Yeah, there's some good stuff coming out.
I mean, Garfield Kart, wow, cannot wait right there.
Paddington Adventures in London, I can't wait to play. I guess that game's gonna be a very good.
Ooh. You had a lot of padding in that joke.
But being serious here, the highlights for me, everybody's gone to the Rapture on PS4.
Oh, yeah.
That's always been on my radar since they announced it, I believe sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken. Was it at Gamescom, I think? Or was it the year before that? I can't remember, but it's been a long time coming so far, so great to see that coming out finally. Then the other one for me is Until Dawn on PS4, which is definitely another title that's been, a long time coming. We're finally getting that released. So those are standouts for me. The other ones probably would be Rare Replay and Gears Ultimate Edition, but I don't have an Xbox One at the moment, which I'll probably get one, I'm being honest, within the next few months. Because they're starting to get some good stuff on it, and Rare Replay would be something cool to have just to go back and play some of those, classic games. And then I really, really enjoyed the original Gears of War. It's probably my favorite in the series from the three that I played. I never played Judgment, but the first one was like really, really stand out. So I want to see how it looks in terms of its graphics running on Xbox One, built supposedly from the ground up. It isn't just like, like a remaster like The Last of Us. Like they've, rebuilt it using a new engine from what I've heard. Their new like Gears of War 4 engine. So
yeah,
those are the standouts for me. I'm trying to stay away from Disney Infinity. Like I'm like, I know that's over there in the corner, but I'm completely avoiding it.
He says that now, folks. Next week he'll say he has it pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to get the physical release of that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would, because I need like the base and the figures and all that. So
yeah.
Crazy.
As for me, everybody's gone to the Rapture as well. I am interested in finally playing Fallout Shelter because I do have an Android device. Let's see, what else here? Volume, I am interested in, from the same guys that did Thomas Was Alone. And they showed that off on, I believe, Colin and Greg, one of their live streams. They had the developer on, they played it. Shu was there, he played... Yeah, that was it. Shohei Yoshida was on. He was actually playing it while the developer talked about it.
No, that's cool.
So yeah, I'm interested in Volume. It looks really good. Gives a old Metal Gear virtual missions vibe to it.
Huh.
Other than that, Until Dawn, I am interested in, but I probably won't be picking it up right away. I'll wait till reviews and whatnot. I'm also on vacation at that point, so I'm about 2.5 hours away from a game store, so
wow,
picking that up.
You're gonna be in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Going into the jungle of Karat. That's an inside joke right there. Yeah, that's about it. Amnesia, I'm actually kind of interested about because I hadn't heard that that they had one coming out for the Vita. That kind
Yeah,
of caught me by
I didn't know that.
surprise.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
yeah,
guess it's a spin-off, right?
possibly, yeah, or a remake of the first game, maybe.
Interesting.
Oh, and dear Lord, how could I forget this? On the 11th, Goat Simulator, PlayStation 4.
Yeah. That'll be fun to replay again.
Oh yes, very much so. The PC version runs like crap for me when I try to record it, so I would love to get that and actually do some live streams of it. So,
Oh, okay.
and if it
I think
ends
that
up,
would work.
and if it's $10, sure. And besides, I already got Everybody's Gone to the Rapture paid off.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that one and Until Dawn, so I'm pretty much set for the month. I know it's August, but like September is gonna be a good month.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait.
The 1st of September alone, I mean, Metal Gear, Mad Max, Danganronpa, all on the same day.
Wow.
And, well, we got Disney Infinity the day before.
Yeah, I'm sold on Mario Maker now. After the Let's Play that Kind of Funny did. Like that game was nowhere near on my radar, which is surprising, especially being a huge fan of platformers, specifically Mario platformers.
Yeah.
But just watching them play that and going through those levels and like just the fun they were having and how ridiculous it looked, it's become a day one pickup for me now.
Yeah, it might be for me as well.
Mhm.
Again, due to their video watching, it's like,
It was
stop
great
selling me.
when they had the option to just turn it into Super Mario World, and Greg's like, just play the whole damn game like that. That's definitely how I'm playing it. They got me there once they switched the art style to it. I'm like, you bastards, you just sold it. You sold it. Yeah.
Yeah, that might have to try and squeak that game in somewhere along the lines in September.
Yep.
But anyways, that pretty much does it for the games of August. A pretty good month overall. We're finally
like
getting
a
out
solid
of
month. Yeah.
yeah, we're getting out of that summer slump, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. The Xbox One actually has 2 exclusives coming out. And we haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Granted, they're both remakes.
Yeah.
Alright, so with that out of the way, it is time to dive into the news. And we've got
Boom, boom. I don't know why I did that.
Okay, we've got... This isn't a train wreck. I've just been tossed out of the train now, and I'm stumbling down the side of the valley.
Boom, boom, boom.
There you go. We've got...
the Wade Barrett. Boom! As he throws his jacket off.
Well, we've got 5 really cool news stories for this week. And Izzy, why don't you tell us about this fucking awesome first news?
So, what fans have been waiting for a very, very long time for has finally been announced, and that is Dragon Quest XI. It's going to be coming out on the PlayStation 4 and the new 3DS. And they're both Dragon Quest XI, but they seem like different games to me. They have their own unique features. Of course, PS4 is going to be the more expansive, fully realized 3D world with the cel-shaded graphics, which looks really beautiful from what I've seen. The new 3DS version, the top screen is going to be, you know, what we're used to from the portable Dragon Quest games. Think of Dragon Quest IX, and then the bottom screen will be the top-down view. Think of the classic Dragon Quest game. So kind of interesting what they're doing, releasing it on these 2 separate platforms, and the versions they seem, you know, uniquely different for their machine. And also they did mention the NX, but then kind of backtracked on it because I think they weren't supposed to say that yet. But yeah, there was some also other Dragon Quest news. That Dragon Quest X, the MMO, is going to be coming out to PS4, which was only exclusive to Wii U and 3DS and PC in the past. So that's very cool, and a whole bunch of other Dragon Quest announcements that they did
Yeah.
during this presentation. So I'm personally not a fan of the Dragon Quest series. I did try Dragon Quest 9 on the DS. It just wasn't for me,
Hmm.
and I didn't grow up with the series, so it wasn't for me. But this is great because I know the last few Dragon Quest games, the remakes, and Dragon Quest 9 have been on the portables, so it's cool that it's finally getting a home console release
Hmm.
with Dragon Quest 11 on the PS4.
Yep. Yeah, and as you mentioned about it releasing on the PlayStation 4 and the 3DS, with the versions being like almost completely different from one another, the
Mhm.
same thing was done with Nino Kunai actually, because it got
Oh, that's true. I forgot that because we never got that in the States. We never got the
yeah,
DS version, right?
exactly, yeah, we never got the 3DS one.
All right. Yeah, so that's interesting. I never thought of it that way. I completely forgot that they had that that version.
Yep. But yeah, wow, the footage that was shown. There is a game trailers video which I watched with them talking about everything. The PlayStation 4 version looks stunning, like massive, massive location that the developer was in to show off the game. It was incredible. And the 3DS version looks really cool. I just seeing the bottom screen in that classic style. Oh, that was touching. Brought
Hmm.
back memories right there. But yeah, it looks cool. I'm personally really excited. There's no confirmed release, and I think they've said that there's no concrete plans to release it outside of Japan yet. But Square, do it, or I'm
I,
coming
I, I
for
think
you.
they I think they will, even if it's just a digital release.
Hmm.
Now with the consoles being so online centric with their digital offerings, it
Hmm.
just doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they release it stateside, even if it's not physical? Try
Yeah.
to release it digital. And
Hmm.
it's funny that they just announced, recently Dragon Quest Heroes is coming stateside.
Yeah. If
So
I
if
have to
that's
buy,
coming stateside, yeah, that if they're putting a spin-off on
yeah,
the platform, but not putting an actual mainline game in the series, that'd be kind of strange. But
yeah, if I have to buy Dragon Quest Heroes to get 11 Square, I'll do it. I will. Just tell me.
don't tell them that because then they'll force you to like buy it now and ensure your pre-order for the next one or some
Done.
crazy like that.
All right, well, we can move on into our next story, and that is the free PlayStation Plus games for August has been announced, and they're pretty good if you don't own them like I do.
That's what I thought.
So, first, for the PlayStation 4, we have Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, the only Tomb Raider game we're probably getting this year.
Oh,
Limbo for the PlayStation 4. Well, probably replay that. Limbo is an awesome game. Sound Shapes for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita. Buy that and get about 255 trophies. It's worth it. Stealth Inc. 2, a game of clones for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation Vita. God of War Ascension for the PlayStation 3.
Athena.
I'll finally play that and not have to stream it via PlayStation Now, which was pretty bad at the time. And Castle Storm 2, I think it is. Uh,
Looks like just maybe Castle Storm. I don't see the subtitle for it, so
okay, it's Castle Storm, releasing for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. So yeah, a pretty damn good month overall, really.
yeah, I think it's a good month. I've just seen a lot of people complaining online about it. Like, you give us this crap after like getting Rocket League last month, right? They get it
Yep.
free, and then this month they're like, "Oh, you gave us this crap." Like,
Folks,
I
with our
already,
dessert, we need to eat our veggies too.
yeah, I already have Sound Shapes. I already have God of War Ascension. I already have Lara Croft. But I'm interested in playing Limbo. I've never played it, which is crazy. Like I never played it on
What?
360. I never played it on PC. I never played it on Vita or any other versions. I've never played Limbo, so I'm finally gonna play Limbo, hopefully throughout this month.
I am
It
amazed by that.
Yeah, I knew about it and I purchased it on 360 back in the day, like in one of the sales that they would do during the summer or whatever, and I just never got around to playing it. Um, but I'll definitely check it around this time around. It just reminds me that, and I'm happy that I didn't buy it because I was going to buy it earlier this year.
Hmm.
Like I've had with Lara Croft and Sound Shapes that I've bought stuff in the past and then I never played it because I still haven't played those games that I bought them. I'll just wait for the PS Plus version. So
Hmm.
that just reinforces
You,
that thought in my head.
hmm
Um,
you should definitely record your first playthrough of that.
yeah, I'll see if I can do that. I know my brother played it, which is crazy. Not my little brother, but
Hmm.
the second oldest brother.
Okay.
So yeah,
Um,
a good lineup. I'm interested
yep.
to see what they bring in September, especially
Hmm.
once those big titles start to hit, you
Hmm.
know.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get the first Danganronpa for free in September for
Hmm,
the Vita at least.
that's definitely possible, yeah.
Yeah. Just by comparison, for games with gold for our Xbox viewers, what you'll be getting Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and How to Survive Storm Warning Edition for the Xbox One. And for the 360, I think these are for the 360 anyway. I'm just looking at IGN's comparison list here, so bear with me. They don't say what platforms they're on. Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light.
Yeah, I believe those were on 360 if I'm not mistaken, because it wasn't the Redux version, so
Yep.
was yeah, it was on 360, so
Yep. So
they
there
got
you
some good
go.
stuff too. Yep.
Mhm. All right. Next news story.
So let's talk about some Wii U sales, which we just found out Nintendo's financials were released for this past quarter, and the Wii U has finally sold over 10 million units worldwide. Oh man, we're almost 3 years into the life cycle, and it's now just hitting over 10 million.
Yeah.
That sucks. It really does. Because I'm to be completely honest, I play most of my stuff, in recent memory on PlayStation, but the Wii U has the best games exclusive lineup at this point, in my opinion, at least. Because now I'm just going to get into a rant, but I always criticize Nintendo, but it's because I really like Nintendo. I think it's crazy that the Wii U has the best version of Mario Kart, the best version of Smash, the best version of Pikmin, the best version of Donkey Kong Country, new stuff like Splatoon, and it's still not taking off on the market, which is really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. But
Mhm.
um, on the positive end of things, Splatoon has sold 1.62 million copies worldwide
Damn.
since its release in May. So I was completely off about this game. I thought this game was going to flop, um, but I was completely wrong. But games in the past like Metroid Other M and Sin and Punishment and niche stuff that Nintendo's released in the past has flopped. So that's why I thought this was gonna flop because it's a new IP, it's not an established franchise, blah blah blah. But I admit it, I was completely wrong about it. I'm happy that it's selling so well, and these Nintendo fans are really enjoying it from what I've seen, and I'm personally really enjoying it. It's just frustrating. I really think they're gonna pull the plug on this pretty soon, especially after these sale results. I think the NX is going to drop at the end of 2016
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet.
because it's not taking off. And like I said, they have so many fantastic games on the platform. And
Mhm. The only thing that'll probably save them is if it's, backwards compatible with the Wii U.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about that a lot too. Like, will it be backwards compatible since it's 2016 will technically be four years after the Wii U was released, right?
Mhm.
So a 4-year lifespan, shorter than the typical lifespan. Um, but I think they're going to move, like we've talked about in the past, move away from the Wii U, and they're trying because there's stuff like Mario Maker's coming out, and that'll probably be big for them, to be honest. Especially from what I've seen now of actual people playing it, not just being cynical because Nintendo's doing Mario again, but man, it's so sad
Hmm.
that the Wii U's doing so bad because it has so many incredible first party exclusives from Nintendo.
Hmm.
But yeah, I guess we can move on from the story. There was some other notes here about the 3DS, but the 3DS is doing fine. It's, when you compare it to the
It's fine.
to the the original DS, of course, it doesn't come close, but nothing
No.
does.
Hmm.
But it's doing fine, especially for the titles that are being released for it, which
Hmm.
haven't been a lot, to be honest, within the last year specifically.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, there was a point where it was like almost every month there was a 3DS game you had to own, but recently there's
yeah,
really been nothing.
yeah, it's been kind of, that's why I see them moving over. If this platform ends up being, the hybrid that we want it to be, I saw a report on Go Nintendo about some analyst saying that it was going to be virtual reality. I'm like, are you high? No, that's not going to happen. But anyway, let's move on from this topic.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we could get into. I know you're gonna want to talk about this.
Oh yeah. I think it was last week when we were talking about
Yeah, that they
Spike
were gonna announce
Chunsoft.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's been revealed. I've got two links here from Gamatsu. The first one, oh my god, Spike Chunsoft X Tri-Ace RPG Exit Archive announced for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. So yeah, that's the title of the game, and we got some info here via another story. So let's see here. Let me see where to start. Okay, via Sal Romano, he writes, Exit Archive is set in modern-day Tokyo, as well as on another planet called Protaliak, something like that anyway. The 12 young protagonists of the game are soul-carrying evil gods who become involved in the gods' quarrels. Yup, Japan. The game's main element is dungeon exploration. You'll explore dungeons in a side view format as chibi-sized 3D characters and use skills such as dashing and jumping to solve puzzles to proceed. Enemies are not random, they appear on the screen before battle. You can gain the upper hand by attacking them before entering battle. So kind of like, I can't believe I'm going to use this as comparison, but it's probably the most mainstream type deal. Final Fantasy 13. Think of enemies on screen that way. I need to throw off a bit now after this podcast. I referenced that game. Let's see here. The active chain battle system lets up to 4 characters participate in battle. Each party member is assigned to the circle, X, square, or triangle button. Pressing the button tied to the corresponding character carries out an attack. By thinking about the order you're attacking in and chaining moves together skillfully, you can up your battle score and increase the drop rate of valuable items. During battle, you can position your characters in the front or back rows. The front row increases your attack power, but makes you more likely to be attacked. The back row lowers your attack power, but makes you less likely to be attacked. It's possible to rotate between rows. The power of the evil god dwells within the 12 heroes, and by releasing it, you can unleash a powerful attack. We've got some characters there, which I'm not going to even pronounce their names. The following bits are from an interview with the developers. The keyword is sharp. This is not your typical rule of right type story. One important choice you have to make in the game is who to send back to Earth, and the order you send them back in will change what happens to you when you reach the end of the game. The game will take 40 to 50 hours to clear. There are a number of side elements like extra dungeons available after you finish the game. There is a boss battle time attack online element. We got, and it just ends with some staff. Let's see, there's an update here. Story: 12 people from the modern world die in an explosion and end up on the alien planet of Proxtilia, which is a ring-forming mass that surrounds a huge structure and appears to be some sort of afterlife. And more detail on the characters, the system, and whatnot. But, yeah, this is cool. I dig it.
Nice.
Got anything to say about this one?
Nope, Japan.
Okay, then.
This is something down your alley.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, why don't you take it away with the final news story?
So the final news story, right,
Mm-hmm.
is we're finally getting Mafia 3. It's going to be announced on August 5th. 2K Games has announced their announcement.
I love it when developers do that. We've got an announcement coming.
So yeah, and it's coming from a brand new studio who hasn't worked on the franchise before, and that is Hangar 13. Reportedly here in the article it says they were open this past December, so it's interesting to see how far into development they are with this game if the studio just opened not even a year ago. But yeah, I know the Mafia series has been pretty well regarded. It's one that never caught my interest. I guess I always just figured it was a Grand Theft Auto clone. But from what I've heard, looking at information about like Mafia 2 and Mafia 1, it's pretty well regarded overall, the Mafia series. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never played 1 personally, but I did play the second one, and it was a good, solid game. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And best collectibles ever in a franchise.
Oh, those are I know that, which is funny. Of course, I know that. It's the Playboy magazines, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it was.
The second one.
Can't wait what they see what they're going to do for this one.
Jeez, just make me collect Margaret Robbie pictures. Instant buy, day one, preloaded onto your console. Buy now. But yeah, maybe this will be the one that I hop on the series and try it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, that wraps up our news stories for this week. So I guess we could get into the topic of the week, which Lord X will mention.
Yep. All right, so our topic of the week this week is we got some very interesting news this past week, and that was that in WWE 2K16 we're going to be able to play as the Terminator. Not Arnold Schwarzenegger himself, which, kind of would have made sense, but no, it's going to be the Terminator that shows up in WWE as a pre-order bonus. First off, what do we think about this?
I think it's stupid. I'm gonna be honest. I liked the actual trailer. I thought the trailer was really cool because they had all the different WWE superstars in there, like Dean Ambrose and Paige, and other guys from the roster. And I just thought it was cool that they did that. But in terms of having the Terminator in 2K16, it's like, how is this going to be balanced? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how you're going to put a Terminator machine to go against the WWE superstar in the context of a game. Like, if maybe this was like the WWE All-Stars game from a few years ago that was just straight up over-the-top nonsense, right? Which was actually really fun. I actually beat that game. It was actually really fun. I could understand it in that game, but 2K Games, since they've taken over the WWE franchise, they're trying to go, to the approach of like the NBA 2K series, like a more realistic approach with the lighting and the arenas and the character models and all that. But then they decide to bring in the Terminator. It just didn't make sense for me at all. Okay. Like, it just, I don't know. What's your take on it?
It was weird. Like, I'm in the same thing as you, like, where I looked at the news first and I was like, what? Really? But I'm fine with it. I mean, it's something different at least, and
Hmm.
maybe we get a little bit more of an arcadey style where we can finally get some really crazy elements tossed into the WWE games, which would be kind of cool in
Yeah.
my opinion. Uh, just need the creative stuff. That's all, WWE. That's all we want. Uh, but yeah, I'm weirded out by it, but I'm still fine with it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not making me buy the game by any means, but yeah.
Yeah. It's been really strange how they rolled out WWE 2K16, and we still haven't actually seen any footage
Yeah.
from the game. We've just seen these trailers, the announcement of Stone Cold being on the cover,
Mhm.
which I always thought they should have picked somebody on the active roster, at least Brock Lesnar, even if he's, part-time. He's been the biggest star within the last year. Or even put Seth Rollins on there, who's
Mhm.
been the champ for a long time now. And now they do this with the Terminator, which I thought the clip was cool. I'm not going to deny. Dun-dun, dun, dun, dun. Um, but kind of would have made sense for them to do, I don't know, something else within the WWE series. I know in the past they've had pre-order bonuses, like last year was Sting, right?
Yep.
Um,
So,
then
well, that kind of begs the question we have here for our topic this week, and that's what other characters would we like to see get put into the game?
yeah, that's a good good way to approach the discussion.
Hmm.
Um, I guess it would be other wrestlers, that have been, whether they have or haven't been in WWE.
Hmm.
I've always wanted them to do like, I know last year they kind of tried doing like an RPG wrestling game with the NXT, what was it called last year when you went through
Oh,
NXT and you did all that?
yeah, the I can't remember what they titled that story mode now. My Career, was it?
Yeah, I think it was like your career mode or something like that, right?
Hmm.
So I remember there was a game that I think it was Konami release. Wasn't it like the Lucha Libre game that was sort of like that?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I always wanted them to do something very extensive like that, but I guess going back into the characters, it'd be cool if you could jump through different eras. So
Hmm.
say they would have you start like in the like 70s, and then they would have like Bruno Sammartino, and they
Hmm.
would recreate his look and everything from that era, and then you
Hmm.
would go into the 80s. Hulk Hogan, which is of course is not going to be in the game because of the recent
Controversy.
scandal and controversy. But and then you would like, just go through different eras and through different, how would you call it, like different promotions.
Hmm.
Like since WWE has this catalog and pretty much owns all this footage from so many different promotions, like WCW, WCCW, like World Class, like NWA, um, Mid South. Like it'd be cool to see if like, how all the older generation always talks about how the territory days are very special,
Hmm.
because they don't have that nowadays. So it'd be cool to like go from territory to territory and like as your character. That would be something that would be really sweet in my opinion. But I don't think they'll ever do that because since they're on this yearly cycle, I just don't think they have the time to fully develop something like this, right?
Hmm.
Um, if they were maybe on every other year, like they took a break in between and they just did like a roster update one year,
Yeah.
and then the next year it would be like, you know, a big event, like, some very cool story mode. I don't know what characters would you like to see? I just kind of went into like a completely different direction instead of speaking about specific characters, but I guess like, older wrestlers like
Hmm.
Bruno Andre, of course, who's been in the games in the past, but
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe a different approach to the game.
Well, I'll go the opposite way. I won't mention any actual wrestlers. The first one that popped into my mind, which kind of would make sense after WrestleMania this past year, Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah.
Like, that would actually make sense to put her into the game.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, yeah. I don't I don't know if they'd be able to, especially with UFC so
Yeah, fair enough.
protective of her, but
Hmm.
um in terms of like other crazy stuff, I'm trying to think maybe something that's like um
Batman.
Batman. I don't know, that'd be kind of strange. I think they should just make a more elaborate creative mode like they did in WWF No Mercy back in the day, where you
Hmm.
could just pretty much create whatever the hell you want, and people created these really outrageous like characters, and then you could go. I remember going like on. It was probably GameFAQs back in the day, and learning how to create like Goldberg and put him into No Mercy and stuff because of
Oh, yeah.
it would tell you like a step-by-step thing, but now I'm getting sidetracked again.
Off
But
topic.
yeah, in terms of over the top stuff or like
Well, since, we're getting the Terminator put in there, why not bring in the Predator as well?
Brain Predator, that'd just be nuts. It'd be like I don't know if it's just very very strange for me because they've been wanting to go with this realistic approach for so
Hmm.
many years now, and the only one that was out of left field was All Stars.
Yeah.
Um,
Rest
maybe
in peace, THQ.
yeah, maybe make a game that's specifically tailored for like that type of audience, like an arcadey
Hmm.
game instead of more of a simulation like they had
Hmm.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think of any other franchises, like movie franchises or anything that would make sense because it just doesn't make sense for me in this approach. But then when you really think about it, like, does The Undertaker make sense? No. Like when you put things into perspectives,
Oh wait,
right?
I
Like,
got another one. Coming from a movie side, which maybe could work. Let's bring in the ultimate action badass, John McClane from Die Hard.
yeah, they'll just start bringing all the
Rambo.
action movie stars. Yeah, they'll bring in Sylvester Stallone next.
Well, here we're bringing in the Terminator. Let's bring in Rambo. Let's bring in John McClane. Let's I don't know, whatever Jason Statham's character from the Transporter was. Bring him in, and we can have a faction called the Expendables. Probably bring in Chuck Norris, but that would break the game.
Yeah, it's just really weird. I guess it's just such a foreign idea for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess I really didn't think this out. It
Well,
just makes sense for wrestlers and past wrestlers from different promotions and stuff. But
hmm. All right. Well, we have one other question for this, and we'll leave this very brief. We'll just make one example or whatever the first thought comes in our mind being, what's another crossover we would like to see? Just bringing a character from any media into a game.
into just any game, just any,
Any game possible. You want to bring, I don't know, Scorpion from Mortal Kombat into FIFA? Why not?
just like an outrageous, uh,
Yeah.
hmm. Why the hell not? Let's put Bugs Bunny in the next 2K game. Just create a Space Jam story mode. Let's do that. Why the hell not? They're doing. I believe this year is actually the Michael Jordan like edition of NBA 2K. Like he's going to be a big
Yeah.
focus of story mode. So why just not do a DLC pack for Space Jam? That'd be awesome. Just
Oh my
put Bugs
god.
Bunny. That's all you're gonna think now whenever you see 2K. You don't want to play as Bugs.
Well, there was that Space Jam mod that somebody did a couple years ago
Oh
for.
yeah, I did see that where they took the PC version, wasn't it? And then they made like the basketball players like all green and stuff, like the aliens.
Yep.
Hmm.
Oh man, that threw me off. Now I can't even think. I'm trying to go weird with like a JRPG. Um,
Kratos in the persona.
Oh, well, we're going with Kratos. Let's bring in him into NHL 16. Kratos on ice. He just murders the entire team.
Mm-hmm. Just kills everybody. That's
Well,
pretty funny.
oh boy. Well, that was our topic of the week, folks. Please let us know down below what crossover you'd like to see, and what do you think about the Terminator showing up in WWE 2K16? Is it enough to get you to pre-order the game? Alright, well, we have no questions and comments because, we never get questions and comments. Ever.
One day we're gonna get a random question.
One of these days, yeah. But,
What
yeah, pretty much that's going to
do you bleed? That's gonna be the next question.
Damn it, Ben Affleck, get away from here.
Batman's gonna ask us, "Do you bleed?" And then he's gonna put little marks on the side, in T-Pain voice. Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for the show this week, folks. Personally, I thank you for tuning in. And Izzy, why don't you lead the people away?
So, if we haven't already led you away so far this episode, thanks for checking out the show. Let us know in the comment section down below if anybody will, in the history of ever. Maybe Patico come back to us one day, maybe. Let us know what you guys think of the announcement of the Terminator in WWE 2K16. Maybe your thoughts on the current state of the Wii U, this brand new Spike Chunsoft announcement, or any of the other news stories that we discussed this week. For Lord X, I am Izzy, aka Israel Pachuk 89, and we are glitching out. See you next week.
Dun, 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 dun.